part of the original vinyasa flow. Namaste, Surya Namaskar A, Surya Namaskar B, and then you go into your different poses, you know, standing, you know, I kind of forget the exact thing, forearm, seated, this, that, and the other, and, you know, we have people who are who are bringing in poses all out of whack, out of order, and that ruins the joints, it ruins the muscles. So you can still find more perfect practices online, kind of. It was kind of a secret. How, like, they wanted you to come into the studio. It's hard to practice at home. It's not the same. But you can always go Ashtanga. Ashtanga will always stay the same. And one of the best instructors online, Kino McGregor, Ashtanga. So that's Ashtanga. It's a set thing. It should never change. They do different series, like shorter, like they'll do, okay, we'll do a 1 hour primary or whatever you call it. Thank you, I forgot the word primary. Primary series and this, that, and the other. She is probably the #1, in my opinion, and I know I'm right, instructor available online. And you know, if you live in Miami, then you're even luckier because you can see her at the Miami Life Center. I don't know if she goes on tour. She's done things where she goes around to different studios. But again, the movement kind of quieted down with the pandemic. And it's difficult to, you know, well, I don't know if they have the same demand, I guess is the word. So, but Miami Life Center, in fact, they expanded it. So there's more than just the original Miami Life Center in Miami, which is near South Beach, I believe. In my mind, I'm not certain. I've only been to Miami like twice, but I'm pretty certain there's a Whole Foods near the Miami Life Center. Like, that's how I pictured it when I looked it up online. Anyway, Kino McGregor, if you go online, she does the best tutorials, and she reminds people how long it took for her in her more adolescence or youth, whenever she started practicing. It takes a long time. You don't just all of a sudden pick up how to do these poses, or you know. So there's a lot involved, and the expectations are just expect that it could take quite a few months to get into certain poses. Or, I'm sorry, months. Years is more like it, you know. Depending on how strong you are. Some people are raised, you know, doing things already, so they might already have the strength and flexibility. But for most people, it could take a couple years. I think it took me 2.5 years just to get a more perfect chaturanga. So my arm strength was sort of not there. And, you know, I grew up with, you know, I have worked out in the past. You know, I went through a whole weight loss program in the early 90s, 90 to 92, and did all different kinds of things. But in terms of arm strength, that was, you know, and for women, arm strength is one of the toughest things to accomplish, unless you grow up this way. Like, very few people actually grow up taking yoga all the time, you know what I mean? Or, you know, or practicing yoga all the time. So, but in general, she gives realistic expectations and goals, and she kind of shows, like, you know, she tells you what the body will do, what to look for, push to the edge, but don't go beyond it, like kind of back off once you feel, you know, uncomfortable or a certain amount of pain. And you would know, like, okay, we don't want to push that because I don't want, you know, something to get out of whack, you know, twist my knee or whatever. Anyway, she was my favorite instructor online, and in general, you know, she's just a very good teacher. It's hard to explain because she describes things perfectly. It's hard. So anyway, when you're in studio, you pick up on cues, and maybe you practice and you didn't realize, like when you got into triangle or trikonasana, that, oh, I see, you know, maybe I need to open up my top arm a little more. I need to, you open my chest, as they would say. There's like, there are certain cues, and you start to realize, oh, I was a little bit leaning forward. I didn't realize it. And once you realize, like, if you can get into the correct posture, that it's actually easier. So it's hard to explain because there's balance involved and so much more. So anyway, I'm just gabbing away here. Fresh, healthy, delicious meals. Sprouts. So Sprouts is pretty good, although it gets a little crowded, and in general in the city these days, like, going to a supermarket is, a run for your life situation. Like, have your list ready. And besides, it's healthier to know what you want before you go in. That way you're not lingering and spending unnecessary money, and you're not, impulse buying on things that are just not going to serve you. That's a very yogic thing to say. Release that which does not serve you. Because you want to participate in things that help you live a better life, and let go of things that don't. It's hard to be perfect with stuff like that, but it's a general rule of thumb, and it becomes a way of life. It's the yogic way of life. There's been a bird, and I can hear the bird now. A bird or two has been crying all over this area, and I'm wondering if there's a pregnant pigeon or these two, and this one flitters a lot. I don't know, you might not be able to see it, but anyway, it's been going on now for several days at least. So I don't know if there's a little game going on between the two, but one of them's been crying a lot, and I'm surprised. I'm out here a couple days later and they're still got the dance going on, or the crying game, or what have you. And I would wonder, it's like one of those videos that you see where an animal is trying to say something. You know how you see these videos on YouTube? It's like on the shorts, and a bear will come up to a car, that's driving by, and it's like, will you come? And I've seen bears actually act like human beings. Like, I need you to come help me because, my cubs are stuck in a drain, or whatever. And they do it with ducks, and what if these birds are trying to say something? Like, I would wonder if there's like, maybe there's a bunch of broken eggs and they're screaming and crying because some jackass, cracked their eggs and did something dumb, or if they need help somewhere. But it's kind of hard to tell with birds, It's not like a, pigeon walking along trying to get you to follow him to the, behind, down an alley where maybe there's a hurt pigeon or something, you know what I mean? So anyway,